Oh, it's that time again. The one where I say something true, something factual and mildly inconvenient, and the ladies on the internet, well, they just lose their minds and come rushing in to comment like I just slapped down their astrology chart. All right, that's all day, every day, but I thought it might be fun to share with you all my top 5 comments that I get from women because they have absolutely no argument against me. Let's begin and start off strong with one that they've been hurling since the first caveman discovered fire. The one that I've been hit with so many times, I should probably change my name to Pinata. And the one they hurl so often when a man says something they don't like that it's actually become part of their DNA. And that is, you hate women. It's the classic thing they say when they have nothing to add to the conversation, nothing to add to the discussion. You point out that men are struggling, you hate women. You mention that, God forbid, accountability, especially women's refusal to take any, well, you're a woman hater. You suggest that maybe, just maybe, not everything is men's fault, and boom, suddenly I'm the grand wizard of women hating Island. Ladies, disagreeing with you doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that I don't worship at the altar of delusion. Number 2 is newer, but quickly becoming a classic. Or as I like to put it, it's becoming so worn out it makes those thrift store skinny jeans that they pour themselves into look brand new. And that phrase, who hurt you? Oh no, you caught me. It was Brenda in the 7th grade. She picked Kyle instead of me, and I've never emotionally recovered. Cue the tiny violin. Look, I get it, ladies. You've been hurt more times than Windows 95 trying to load up Reddit or Quora so you can bitch about the patriarchy. It's your way of coping and pretending that my argument isn't valid. Because if a man says something you don't like, well, it must be because of his emotional trauma, not logic. Not to mention that it exposes the reality that any woman who says that, and since they all do that, it means any woman in general, it means that she doesn't believe that men are entitled to be hurt, to have feelings or emotions. No, she believes they're just supposed to sit and take it. Take the uncaring, take the insults, take the dismissal of them as human beings, and take the abuse that's heaped on them by women, day after day, week after week, and so on. And yet, despite all of that, somehow it's still not a refutation of anything I said. Weird, huh? Number 3 is probably not going to surprise anyone, but it's one I hear every single day, which is when they scream, "You're bald." First of all, honey, while the top is thinning to be sure, all right, it's more barren than a 50-year-old divorcee going through menopause. The rest of it is by choice. That's right, baby, by choice. And second of all, what the hell does my hairline have to do with my argument? Are follicles now the foundation of truth? Do you really believe that if Einstein had a mullet, we should just ignore him and his theory of relativity? Come on, grow up already. And let's be honest, half the celebrities and guys you swoon over on Insta are either bald, going bald, using Rogaine, or a rug. Just saying. Number 4 is pretty new, but it's exploding, which is the, if they don't like something you say, you must be gay. Wow, I thought we left that one behind in the 80s, but here it is. Because clearly to today's women, if a man doesn't spend every waking moment praising women like he's auditioning for The Bachelor, he must be gay. Honestly, I find this one hilarious because it's always shouted from the same crowd that claims to be allies with the alphabet community. Tell us, ladies, and I'm genuinely asking here, do you really think hurling being gay as an insult doesn't show that you really feel somewhat different about gay men in general? Just saying. Do tell us, because inquiring minds want to know. Yet, y'all are starting to hurl it all the time now. The moment a man steps out of line, says or does something you don't like, you declare he's gay. Nice hypocrisy there, Becky. Next up, and this one's my personal favorite, when they scream incel. To women, it's the ultimate boss bitch insult. Why? Who knows? Because nothing screams I can't argue with your point, like throwing around buzzwords you learned on Twitter, the old feminist Twitter back in 2016. Things like incel, misogynist, toxic, fragile ego, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. Let's be honest. Most of you who mock men for not having a bunch of sexual partners are either in the same boat or have a roster so large, even the NBA is like, damn, that's a deep bench. Hell, most of those who say it think they're Noah, taking things 2 by 2 every weekend. Sorry, honey, that's not just a red flag, it's a whole arc of bad decisions, none of which actually addresses the content of what I'm saying. But hey, name calling, that's easier than critical thinking, right? Now here's the funniest part of all. Not one of these comments, or the women making them, ever disproves anything I've said. There's never a logical argument. Not one even attempts an actual adult conversation. The dynamic is the same every single time. Insult, insult, projection, more insult. Which tells me and anyone with half a brain that I'm right. Because if I wasn't, they'd actually try to prove me wrong, wouldn't they? But they don't, because they can't, which is why they resort to a never-ending litany of shave your head again, you bald guy, incel woman hater. Quite the compelling counter-argument you got there, Janice. Now, I get it. They hope they're hurting me, but the reality is they're not. I get that they hope they're going to be able to silence me by hurling insults. Ladies, your failure on that is of epic proportions. Because in the end, all it really does is make me laugh. As in literally laugh out loud. Every single time. I find these comments absolutely freaking hilarious. Though, let's be honest, it is getting a little old hearing the same tired, worn out, overused ones over and over and over again. I mean, geez, you think maybe you could come up with something new once in a while, ladies? I guess not. So to all the ladies out there hurling their recycled TikTok tantrums instead of thoughts, thank you for confirming that everything I said hit a little too close to home. And to everyone else, just remember this. When people can't attack your ideas, they're going to attack you. But instead of getting upset, instead of getting angry, which is what they want, take it as a compliment. Because nothing says, I have no rebuttal, like screaming, you're a sad, lonely, bitter old man.